Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack open one of the most eye-opening books ever written about money, The Millionaire Next Door. For decades, its authors studied how people actually get rich in America, and what they found, well, it just blows up everything we think we know from TV and social media. Their discoveries will probably change the way you think about wealth forever. So, let's dive in. All right, so let me ask you something. When you hear the word millionaire, what's the first image that pops into your head? You're probably picturing, the sprawling mansion, right? The brand new luxury car, designer everything, $1,000 watches. Yeah, for most of us, that's the picture. But it turns out that picture is almost completely wrong. Now, you might think this quote is from some random skeptic, but it's not. This was actually said by a vice president of a bank's trust department. He just had dinner with 10 first-generation millionaires that the authors brought together for their research. And get this, he was absolutely floored. They didn't look, dress, or act like he expected. And that right there, that was the first clue that they were onto something huge. So to really get this, the authors found this perfect Texan expression that just nails the difference between looking rich and being rich. Big hat, no cattle. It's all about someone who has all the outward signs of success, the big fancy hat. But when you look closer, there's no actual substance, no assets, no cattle. At first, the researchers did the obvious thing. They went straight to the fanciest, most upscale neighborhoods in the country to find millionaires. But pretty quickly, they noticed something weird. A lot of the people living in those huge houses and driving those expensive cars didn't actually have that much real wealth. And here's where it gets even stranger. Many of the people who did have a ton of wealth didn't live in those neighborhoods at all. So look at this contrast. On one side, you've got the trust officer. He's got the high income, the sharp suits, the new luxury car. He looks rich. But then, over here on the right, this is the actual millionaire from the book. He's living in a regular house, driving a 10-year-old car, and as he put it, I don't own big hats, but I have a lot of capital. Okay, so if it's not about the big paychecks and the flashy lifestyle, what is the secret? What's the real millionaire mindset? Well, the research showed it all boils down to one core principle. Yup, that's it. 3 words. Frugal, frugal, frugal. This is the absolute cornerstone of how the wealthy build and keep their money. And listen, this isn't about being cheap. Not at all. It's about making a conscious choice, choosing financial independence over trying to look high status for everyone else. You gotta hear the story. The researchers held a focus group for millionaires. We're talking people worth $10 million or more. So they get this super fancy penthouse, right? And they're serving up vintage Bordeaux, the good stuff. And they offer a glass to one of these guys. And this is what he says. He just wanted a regular beer. He had zero interest in impressing anyone. And this next story just shows you how deep this habit runs. So get this. A guy takes his company public and gives his wife stock worth $8 million. Her reaction? She smiles, says thank you, and goes right back to clipping 25-cent coupons at the kitchen table. See, that habit didn't change when her net worth did. That habit is why they became wealthy in the first place. Okay, so we've got the mindset down, frugal. But how does that actually work? How do you put it into practice? Well, the book uses this brilliant sports analogy that makes it all click. Playing financial offense versus playing financial defense. All right, this is maybe the single most important definition in the whole book. We have to completely unlearn what society tells us. We're trained to admire high incomes, big salaries. But the book makes it crystal clear. Income is not the same as wealth. A high income can disappear in a flash if you spend it all. Wealth, that's what you accumulate. That's what you actually keep. This brings us to the book's 2 key categories of people. First, you have the under-accumulators of wealth. Let's call them UAWs. These folks might make a ton of money, but they have very little to show for it. They play great offense, they earn a lot, but their defense is terrible. Then you have the prodigious accumulators of wealth, the PAWs. And these folks, they are masters of financial defense. They budget, they save, they invest. They are the real millionaires next door. And look, this isn't some kind of magic trick. It just comes down to simple math and time. Check out this chart. The research found that PAWs, the real wealth builders, spend almost twice as much time every single month actively planning their finances as the high-income UAWs do. They're deliberate. They're focused. Okay, so it's not just about your own habits. The book digs into this other, really surprising force that can actually stop people from building wealth,
and it's something the authors call the golden handcuffs.
They call it economic outpatient care, or EOC for short. This is when parents regularly give financial help to their grown-up children. Now, don't get me wrong, this comes from a place of love, right? But the data shows it can be absolutely crippling. Why? Because it teaches adult kids how to spend money, not how to earn and manage it. It keeps them from developing the discipline they need to build their own fortune.
This story of two brothers just perfectly illustrates the point. So you've got Josh, the attorney. He's making great money, over 120 grand a year, living the high life. And then there's his brother Henry, a teacher, making a lot less. Now, Josh was getting all this EOC from his parents, which just fueled his spending. Henry, he had to figure it out himself. He learned to play that solid financial defense. And look at the results. The lower earning brother is worth almost $300,000 more. It's not even close. You know, building wealth is rarely a solo sport. The research is super clear on this. One of the biggest factors in your success is your teammates. And the book does not mince words here. A household that's split on its approach to money is almost never going to build serious wealth. Think about it. If one of you is trying to save and invest and the other is a hyperconsumer, who do you think is going to win that battle? Yeah, the spender. You have got to be on the same team. Let's look at the tale of two households from the book, the Norths and the Souths. Both had similar high incomes. Okay, so the Souths, total hyperconsumers. They don't even know what the other one is spending. Their net worth is about $400,000. Now let's look at the Norths. Same kind of income, but they come from frugal backgrounds, they budget as a team. Their net worth, $7.5 million. That's more than 18 times higher. It's incredible. So when you strip it all away, this entire book really comes down to one fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Because every single dollar you have is a choice. It's a vote. Are you casting that vote for the temporary thrill of looking high status? Or are you investing it in a life of real financial freedom? Remember, the true millionaire isn't the person with the big hat. It's the person with the cattle. And the incredible thing the book teaches us is that the choice, well, it's all yours.